I would say that it's definitely a big risk, especially if you're coming from a very different background. So I think if you're like 100% sure that you want to make the switch, if you're hesitant about it, I don't think it's gonna work. You have to be 100% sure that you want to make that change.
All right. So maybe you can just go ahead and introduce yourself and what you're up to these days.
So my name is Sue, and what I've been up to, I've been working on Jobier, but now I'm helping Safa and the others with the LMS.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's basically what I've been up to.
Basically, in a nutshell, yeah. So let's start from the beginning a little bit. What were you doing right before joining Sigma School, like in terms of your career or in terms of education? What were you doing?
I was working at a music studio in KL, actually.
Oh, in
Uh,
KL.
yeah,
Wow.
it's called 2 a.m. Studios if you
Mm-hmm.
know it.
Okay.
So I was working there, and I think it was around towards the end of COVID. Uh, One of my friend told me about boot camps because I didn't know about them at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And I've always been interested in like programming and all that stuff. So I thought I'd give it a try. And also, like working in a studio, it doesn't pay much.
Mm.
Like it's very, I was living paycheck to paycheck. So I thought, okay, I'll give programming a try. And I was Googling some, and a lot of them were like crazy expensive back then. And then I stumbled on Sigma School. I think it was on Google. And then I contacted them, and then they sent me like an email explaining about their programs and all that. And the pricing was very reasonable. So I thought, yeah, I'll give it a try. And then while I was still studying there, I was also interning. Back then, I was working on Codio with Danish and another guy, Hasek, but he doesn't work here anymore. And that was 2023, I think.
Wait,
So,
so you were affiliated with Sigma School even before you enrolled, is that correct?
no, while I was still doing the
Okay,
boot
okay.
camp. Yeah,
Oh, then you joined on to work on Codio for a bit.
yeah.
Mm-mm-mm.
And then after that, after the internship ended, I worked at another company here in my hometown, and then I left that one. And then at the start of this year, Derek messaged me that they had an opening, so he said if I wanted to try for it, so I did, and that was, I think it was March or June, something like that. Yes, I've been working with Jobier and Sigma School since then.
So how was that like kind of journey like from when you first came across Sigma School to actually making the leap? You know, was there a lot of thinking involved, or were you just like, I'm just gonna go for it? Because like music to coding,
Yeah.
it's a bit of a jump unless you had some in prior interest or something.
Yeah, so I did have some prior interest, and the jump was not that, uh, how do I say it? Like, mm, not as jarring, I guess, because I'm already familiar with it. Because I used to mod like games and stuff, so I'm used to that kind of work. And yeah, it's a pretty big change, that's for sure, coming from music to this. But it's been fun, yeah.
Mm. So were you doing the boot camp on site? Because you were in Malaysia at the time, right?
No, so when I did the boot camp, I was already back home.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
So what were you doing in Malaysia? Like, do you come here often, or was it just
I
like
was
because you were working
studying
here? Yeah.
there. Yeah, I did my master's there. So from 2018 till 2022.
So you did your masters in something music related.
Yeah, in music production.
So was it not difficult at all to like have come relatively far with music and then suddenly make a
It
drastic pivot?
is. It
Yeah.
is, yeah. I feel like I left a big chunk of my life and
Mm.
then just changed to something else. But yeah, I actually haven't even produced or played guitar in a year.
Really?
Yeah.
What kind of songs do you like to play?
Uh, I like punk.
Mm.
Anything that's rock, really.
Anything
A
that's
little
rock?
bit of like um, hip hop, I guess. Do you
Mm.
know Polyphia?
I know Polyphia, yeah. I do know Polyphia. You know how to, what's your, you can play Polyphia?
Yeah, a
Wow,
few.
that's impressive. What's your favorite riff?
I think it has to be goat. Either
Good.
goat or goose. Goose is
Yeah.
very fun to play.
Yeah, Goose is cool. Yeah. So you have not really been you kind of put music on the side for now on the back
Yeah,
burner and focusing on whatever you're doing now.
yeah, yeah.
So when you first joined the boot camp, right, what were your expectations like and how did the reality compare?
I expected it to be hectic, that's for sure. Hold on, give me a sec.
Yeah.
And then when I first started, it was a bit chill, but then like the boot camp, so what it does is it teaches you how to code right away, right? It teaches you all the structures. Basically, it gives you like what's the word? Like something to stand on so you can get into the industry right away.
Mm.
And that was a bit challenging at first, but yeah, but it was still fun. It never felt like I was in a lot of pressure, like compared to when I was in school or something.
Oh, really? So this was
Yeah,
like easier than like traditional education for
yeah,
you.
because we can we can go about it in our own pacing, I guess.
Mm.
And we had like a good instructor. You know Harris?
Oh yeah, I mean I know of him, but I've never met
Yeah,
him. Yeah.
yeah, he was a pretty good instructor.
Mm.
He was mostly the one teaching us, and yeah, he was a pretty good teacher. So it was pretty easy to understand the concepts and all that.
Mm. So pretty much from day one, you felt like, oh, this is something that I can do, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm.
It never
And
felt like, okay, maybe this was a bad idea.
or never at any point.
No.
Wow. So was there a specific, maybe like a moment, or maybe with a specific project during the boot camp that made you think like wow, like I can really do this, like this could be a career for me, or did you kind of always feel that way?
There was one project. So we had a capstone project where we need to use like the Spotify API. So I created a web app that lets you clone playlists. So you just paste a link, you press a button, and it clones it directly and added it to your uh, profile on Spotify. So that one was a bit challenging to do. I remember definitely struggling on that, but then after I figured out, it was like really satisfying.
Mm.
And I thought, oh yeah, maybe, because a lot of it has to do with reading documentation and understanding what it's written there. So yeah.
Mm. And was there like so was that like the most difficult moment for you overcoming this project, or was there another moment where you were like, wow, this is actually more difficult than I thought, or pretty easy cruising for you?
That was, I think, the biggest one. Yeah.
Mm.
I was a bit scared when it comes to backend, but backend, I think it was a little bit more chill than the front end part.
Mm. Cool. I noticed how like a lot of students who found success after working, like they try to integrate like their interests into their projects, you know. Like
Mm,
for example, I interviewed this guy named Jahao. He's a big badminton guy, so he came up with a badminton booking system for his final project, and you're
mm,
doing so with your project, like something related to Spotify, something related to Spotify
yeah.
streaming, stuff like that. So do you try to sometimes find like the joy that you used to find in music in coding, or is it like two completely separate worlds?
I think it's very different.
Mm.
I did work on a project, which is like a commission. It's called Lucida. So what it does is it lets you rip songs off streaming services. I don't know about the legality of that, but yeah, basically you just copy a link from Spotify or Apple Music, paste it there, and it will download it for you.
Mm.
And that was the last project I worked on that was like related to music. This was last year.
Mm. So, you know, overall, how was the Sigma School experience for you in terms of like the community, in terms of the curriculum, the relevancy of the curriculum? Like, what do you have to say about the few months you spent learning here?
I think it's very helpful. It definitely like teaches you really fast and just to get your foot into that field. And yeah, the curriculum does a pretty good job at it, and the community is also like very helpful. Like all the students, at least in my batch, I can't speak of other ones, but in my batch, we were all like friends and all, so we have like a group chat where we all help each other. And yeah, that was a pretty good experience, I would say.
If you could pick like your favorite aspect of your experience, what would it be?
The group projects.
The group projects. So like the sense of community and
Yeah, yeah, it feels like I'm actually working on a big project with a bunch of people, you know?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't know, maybe you guys are like going through the same struggles or the same
Mm,
journey, and it's nice to have that sense of camaraderie, right?
yeah.
So once you graduated, what was your head at? Like, were you already working? You said you were already doing some work for Codio and stuff like that, right?
Yeah, so I started on Codio while I was like on the last month, I think, of the boot camp. So I think this was August of 2023. So I worked on Codio till December of that year.
Mm.
And
And
then after
yeah.
that, like I knew I wanted a job in that industry. So I started looking for one and then I got one with a company that's based here. Yeah.
So that was not with what you're doing now with Sigma School, or is that what you're referring to?
No, not the one right now. Yeah, this was a different company.
So like with your first venture into the world of tech outside of Sigma School, what was that like? Like, were the skills that we taught you super relevant, or was that a more of a learning curve, or what was that like?
A little bit of both. What I learned at Sigma School definitely helped a lot, but there were some stuffs that were not in the boot camp. So that was a bit of a learning curve, but I managed to do it, so it was not that crazy, I guess. Yeah.
Not nothing too crazy, lah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think a lot of times like a big point of conversation with me and like my interviewees are the job search period after Sigma School. You know, we always talk about like the difficulties and the doubts and then the feeling of like elation when you finally get it. But it seems like you already figured it out. Like by the time you finished, you already had a path ahead of you. Was there no resistance, no difficulty at all?
Uh, Not really. I feel like I got lucky. Because I know a lot of people from my batch were struggling to find a job. And then I think two of us, we got one right away after graduating.
Yeah, a Malaysian-based tech job.
Yeah. Not for him, yeah, not for me though.
Oh, so tell me more about that first role, like what you were doing and how you felt about it. Your first pretty much foray into the world of, well, second into the world of tech.
So the company was called Only Bees.
Okay,
So what they
only
do is
beast.
only bee, no, bees, like the bug bee.
Beast, okay, okay. I thought you said beast. Okay, sorry.
And then, so what they do is they build websites for like hotels and restaurants and stuff. So when I was working there, I mainly deal with the front end, and it was pretty fun, but it was a shitty company.
Oh,
Uh,
really? Okay, okay, yeah.
but at least I thought to myself, at least I got my foot in the industry, you know?
Mm.
One of my friends who's a programmer said that once you get into that industry, it's a little bit easier to find another job at a different company because you already have experience and all that. So yeah, working there was okay.
Like, for how long were you there?
I was there for a year.
So around a year in, you're like, okay, enough of this, only bees. Time to peek elsewhere, and that's when around where you started to join Sigma School.
Yeah, so like I said, it was a really small company, and they didn't have like a specific work hours. So basically, they would just call you at random times of the day, and they'll be like, "Hey, I need you to do this." So, and I like going out. I can't stay home all day waiting for them to call. So I was like, nah, their schedule is not gonna work well with me. So I left that, and I texted Derek after leaving that, but at the time he said that they didn't have any opening. But then I think after 2 months or so, he texted me back, telling me that they have an opening and if I wanted to try.
So how was that 2 months like with pretty much? So did you quit without a backup job, or did you wait until
Yeah,
the
I quit without a
opportunity?
backup job.
So how was that? Or what was that 2 months like? I mean, it's never fun, right? Or maybe it was.
It was a bit stressful,
Mm,
yeah. I did have a few commissions every now and then, but the pay was not consistent because they're just commissions, so it's based on the project. So I needed something like, I can depend on every month.
mm,
So
something more
it was a
consistent.
bit stressful during those 2 months, yeah.
Hmm.
Especially because these days it's very hard to get into this field, I feel like.
Yeah. Yeah, let alone if you don't have like a proper degree, it might not be like super
Yeah,
easy, right? Yeah.
yeah,
So how did you
exactly.
feel like when Derek finally messaged you and saying like, "Yo, we have an opportunity for you"? What was that
Uh,
feeling like?
I felt
Let's
relieved.
go.
Yeah.
I know.
I was like right away, I was like, yeah, I'm interested.
Yeah. Yeah. But so did it start off as an internship?
No, I started off on probation for I think 2 months, or was it three, something like that. And then towards the end, Derek was like, "Yeah, we would love for you to join full time." So,
Yeah. So yeah, tell me more about your role now specifically, like what you're doing for Sigma Lab for Jobier, and also talk about your experience, what it's like to have gone from a student to now an employee here.
so currently I'm working on LMS, like translating the course material into a format that we can use for the website. And for Jobier, I would mainly work on front end, but sometimes I help Safa on the back end as well. But currently, we're all like focused on the LMS because that's our priority right now. And as for the jump from student to employee, yeah, I feel like I don't know if it's imposter syndrome or what, but it still feels surreal. Yeah, like sometimes I feel like I'm still processing it. Like, wait, how did I get here?
How long have you been working with us now?
Uh, Maybe 9 months, something like that. Yeah.
I guess I don't get to ask this question to anybody else I interview, but what's the working culture like at Sigma School for you? Like, what's something I don't know, maybe you enjoy about it, something that was maybe a bit of a something to get used to. Like, what has the working culture like been here?
I feel like it's pretty chill.
Okay.
Because do you know Adrian?
Adrian, I don't think I do. I don't think I do.
So I don't think he's around anymore, but he used to be the one managing us on Jobier. He would always say that, it's not about the hours you put in, it's about the work that you get done.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, and I think that goes, I mean, that fits my schedule very well. As long as I get my tasks done, it doesn't matter if I work for 10 hours or 6 hours. I always try to get my tasks done, so it doesn't feel as stressful. That's like the best part about working here, I guess, is that we can go at our own pace, but we still have to meet a deadline at the end of the day. So,
Yeah, it's very much more like outcome driven as opposed to just mindlessly putting hours in, right?
yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
I can relate to that.
Yeah.
So yeah, coming from like a non-CS background, what was sort of like the biggest mindset shift you had to make to kind of find success in tech?
Um, Definitely putting in a lot of effort. It's not like something you can just breeze through, I guess. It's not like music where you can, how do I say it? Mm, I can't put into words.
Yeah,
uh,
maybe it's I don't know, I can't put into words either. Yeah.
it's not like music where, music has a lot to do with connections.
Okay.
You have to know a lot of people, like to get projects. Even if you're working at a studio, you have to make a lot of connections. But in this field, you still have to, but if you're working at a company, it's a bit easier, I guess. But yeah, a lot of change that I had to deal with was I have to keep on coding, right? It's not like playing a guitar. Once you learn something, you know it, it's there.
Yeah.
But in coding, everything is different all the time. It's always changing. So what I try to do is to just like keep up with all the new changes and stuff. So I'd be, up there with everyone else. That's like a pretty big challenge. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like coding is more of a science and art is a bit more like an art, as our music is more like an art, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. But it's like for coding, it's like the hours you put in is what you get. As opposed
Yeah,
to like you said
exactly.
with music, it's like sometimes it's connection, sometimes it's more abstract. Your probability of success is maybe not so tied to what you put in, right? So
Yeah,
I guess
yeah.
that's a small flaw about it. Do you still
Mm.
like? I know you said you took a break from music and playing the guitar, but are you looking to get back into it at any time? I mean, I'm sure it's something that was very enjoyable to you.
Yeah, I've been thinking of like getting back into it, like maybe on weekends, when I'm free.
Yeah, I think that's worth doing. And
Yeah.
last few questions for anyone thinking about joining Sigma or maybe making a drastic switch in their careers like you did, what advice would you give?
I would say that it's definitely a big risk, especially if you're coming from a very different background. So I think if you're like 100% sure that you want to make the switch, I think if you join Sigma School, you need to have that mindset where, okay, I need to get a job in this industry. If you're hesitant about it, I don't think it's going to work. You have to be 100% sure that you want to make that change.
And final question, speaking of being sure about change, where would you see yourself in 5 years?
Um,
Maybe if, it,
that's
if
all.
if you can't think of like a career, or if you could think of a career, maybe something more up in the, like something more abstract, like maybe you'd like to be a happier human or whatever. In 5 years, what's the goal?
Uh, yeah, I guess that's one of the things that I want to be like in a good place in my life, I guess, where I don't have to worry about having to find another job or something like that. I
So,
definitely want to be like in a stable phase.
stability is the dream for the time being, lah.
Yeah.
Right, I won't hold you for too long. Thank you, Sue, for your time. I really appreciate you, and I'll
All
send you
right.
like the details for the claims and stuff like that later.
Mm.
And yeah, I think we're all good. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you, man.
Thank you. You
I'll
got
see
it.
you. Bye
See you.
bye.
Bye.